I could be anybody you want me to be. You want me to be in a scary movie? You want me to play a girl screaming and scream? Ah! I can do all of that. I need to put on a gun belt. I want to go down the dark alleys. I want to jump over the fence. I want to hurt myself in these movies.
You want to do your own stuff?
I want to have sex in the movies, not real sex, but I want to look like I am.
Okay.
Did Jackie Christie really collapse in court the second the verdict was read? Or was it something deeper than shock? Because people inside that courtroom said the entire atmosphere changed in seconds. One moment, Jackie was sitting there completely still, eyes forward, face unreadable. The next moment, gasps filled the room, chairs moved, and chaos broke out so fast, nobody fully understood what they had just witnessed. And the strangest part, some people believe the collapse wasn't even the biggest part of the story. Because according to those following the case closely, what happened in that courtroom may have exposed years of pressure, hidden tension, broken trust, and a side of Jackie Christie the public was never supposed to see. And once that verdict was spoken out loud, everything changed. For years, Jackie Christie built a reputation as someone impossible to ignore. Whether people loved her or criticized her, they watched her. That was the power she carried. Reality television turned her into a household name because Jackie never blended into the background. She spoke loudly, defended herself aggressively, and always seemed ready for conflict if someone crossed the line. But fame like that comes with pressure, a lot of pressure, especially when your entire image depends on staying strong in public no matter what is happening behind closed doors. Over time, Jackie became known for more than television drama. She became known for control, the way she handled situations, the way she managed narratives, the way she always seemed prepared for cameras, interviews, and public reactions. Nothing about her image looked weak, and maybe that's why what happened in court shocked people so badly, because nobody expected Jackie Christie to completely fall apart in public. At first, the court hearing didn't seem unusual. People walked in quietly. Reporters filled the back rows. Phones stayed ready. Everyone knew the verdict being discussed could seriously affect Jackie's future, but nobody expected an emotional explosion. In fact, witnesses later described Jackie as unusually calm. Too calm. She arrived dressed in dark colors, moving slowly but confidently. No dramatic reactions, no visible panic. She barely spoke while entering the room. She simply sat down beside her legal team and stared ahead. But here's the twist. Sometimes the quietest moments are the ones closest to breaking. As the hearing began, tension slowly built across the room. Even people sitting far from Jackie could feel it. The silence felt heavy. Every paper shuffle sounded louder than normal. Every pause from the judge felt endless. And Jackie, still calm, still motionless, at least on the outside. What nobody knew was how much pressure had already been building behind the scenes long before that courtroom date ever arrived. Because according to people close to the situation, Jackie had been dealing with nonstop emotional stress for months, private disagreements, career uncertainty, financial rumors, personal betrayals, public criticism, and on top of all that, cameras and headlines never stopped following her. That kind of pressure changes people, especially when your public image is built around always looking untouchable. As the judge continued speaking, the courtroom stayed completely silent. Then came the verdict. The words landed hard. You could reportedly hear people react immediately. Some gasped quietly, others looked down. A few simply froze, but all eyes quickly turned toward Jackie. At first, she didn't move. That's what made the moment so unsettling. She just stared ahead as if her brain was still trying to process what she had heard. Her expression tightened slightly. Her breathing changed. One person inside the courtroom later claimed Jackie looked like she suddenly lost all focus. And then it happened. Without warning, Jackie leaned sideways and collapsed. The entire room erupted. People stood up instantly. Someone yelled for help. Court officers rushed forward, while others backed away in confusion. Papers hit the floor. Reporters started whispering into phones almost immediately. And Jackie remained motionless for several terrifying seconds. Nobody knew whether it was shock, exhaustion, panic, or something even more serious. And that's when everything changed, because the courtroom was no longer focused only on the verdict. Now the focus was Jackie herself. Witnesses described complete confusion. Some people believed the collapse was real immediately. Others exchanged skeptical looks. A few reportedly whispered that Jackie had spent years controlling dramatic moments in front of cameras, making it difficult for the public to separate performance from reality. But here's the thing. Even critics admitted the scene felt frighteningly real. There was no dramatic speech beforehand, no warning, no build-up. 1 second she was sitting upright, and the next she was on the floor, while people rushed around her. And once videos and reports started spreading online, the story exploded everywhere. Social media turned into chaos within minutes. Some viewers expressed sympathy instantly. They believed Jackie had simply reached her emotional limit. Others questioned everything. They replayed clips repeatedly, searching for signs that the collapse may have been exaggerated, but what nobody expected was how many people from Jackie's past suddenly started speaking out. Former friends, former co-workers, even people who once defended her publicly. Suddenly, old stories began resurfacing online. Stories about pressure behind the scenes, arguments, falling outs, trust issues, emotional strain, and little by little, a much bigger picture started forming because, according to some insiders, Jackie's problems didn't begin in court. The courtroom was simply the breaking point. For years, Jackie had carefully maintained an image of strength. Even during controversy, she pushed forward aggressively. She rarely allowed people to see vulnerability. That became part of her identity. But maintaining that image constantly can become exhausting. Imagine living every day knowing people are waiting for you to fail, watching your interviews, watching your reactions, watching your relationships, waiting for cracks to appear. Eventually, that pressure becomes impossible to hide forever. And people close to Jackie reportedly noticed changes long before the hearing ever happened. She became more guarded, more emotional, more isolated. Some relationships reportedly became strained because Jackie no longer trusted the people around her completely. There were rumors about disagreements over loyalty, business decisions, and private conversations leaking publicly. And that kind of paranoia can destroy people emotionally, especially in entertainment. Because in that world, loyalty changes fast. The same people supporting you today can disappear tomorrow the second controversy appears. And after the courtroom collapse, that reality became painfully obvious. What nobody expected was how quickly public opinion shifted. Some fans defended Jackie passionately. They argued that regardless of past drama, watching someone collapse under emotional pressure should never become entertainment. Others weren't so forgiving. They believed the years of controversy surrounding Jackie had finally caught up to her. They questioned whether sympathy should outweigh accountability. And right in the middle of all that noise was Jackie herself. Silent, no immediate interviews, no dramatic public statement, nothing. That silence only made the situation more intense, because people started filling the silence with speculation. Was she seriously ill? Was the stress worse than anyone realized? Had the pressure finally broken her emotionally? Or was something even bigger happening behind the scenes that the public still didn't know about? And then came another twist. Reports began circulating that several people once close to Jackie had quietly distanced themselves long before the court hearing happened. Some allegedly stopped returning calls. Others reportedly wanted no connection to the situation once legal pressure increased. That kind of abandonment hits differently when your entire career depends on relationships and public image, because success in reality television is fragile, very fragile. The audience can make you famous quickly, but they can also turn against you overnight. And once public trust starts cracking, every old controversy comes back at once. Every argument, every rumor, every mistake, everything returns. For Jackie, the collapse became bigger than one courtroom moment. It became symbolic. People started viewing it as the exact second years of pressure finally exploded publicly. And honestly, that may be why the story spread so fast. People weren't just watching a celebrity reaction. They were watching someone who spent years appearing strong suddenly look completely human. And that changes how audiences react emotionally, because underneath all the fame, all the cameras, all the reality TV drama, people recognize something real in that moment. Fear, overwhelm, exhaustion, the feeling of losing control publicly while everyone watches. That's terrifying for anyone, especially someone who built an entire career around staying in control. But here's the part many people overlooked. The emotional damage didn't stop in court. After the collapse, the impact reportedly spread across every part of Jackie's life. Her career suddenly faced uncertainty. Brands and professional connections reportedly became cautious. Public perception shifted almost overnight. Even longtime supporters started questioning what the future would look like for her. And privately, the emotional toll may have been even worse. Imagine trying to recover emotionally while millions of strangers debate whether your breakdown was real. Imagine opening social media and seeing people turn your worst moment into memes, arguments, and conspiracy theories. That kind of humiliation stays with people, especially when cameras captured everything. People close to Jackie reportedly worried about her mental and emotional health after the incident. Some believed she had been carrying stress for far too long without fully dealing with it. Others believed years in the spotlight had created emotional walls that finally collapsed all at once. Because the truth is, public figures are still human beings. People forget that. They see headlines and controversy so often that eventually they stop seeing the actual person underneath it all. But courtroom collapses like this remind people that fame does not protect anyone from pressure. Sometimes it makes the pressure worse, and maybe that's why this story affected so many people emotionally. Not because of the legal drama, not because of television fame, but because people saw someone hit their limit in real time. No filters, no editing, no control. Just a moment of complete emotional collapse in front of the world. And honestly, the biggest question still hasn't been answered. What truly caused it? Was it only the verdict? Or was the collapse caused by years of emotional pressure finally becoming too heavy to carry? Because people rarely break from one moment alone. Usually the damage builds slowly, quietly, over time, until one final moment pushes everything over the edge. And for Jackie Christie, that moment may have happened right there inside that courtroom. But something tells me this story still isn't finished, because whenever public figures fall apart publicly, more truths usually follow afterward. More details, more revelations, more people speaking out, and sometimes the real story only begins after the cameras stop rolling. So maybe the real shock wasn't Jackie collapsing after the verdict. Maybe the real shock is realizing how long she may have been falling before anyone finally noticed.